The crew called it Operation War Bride. The press had a better name, Operation Diaper Run. Hundreds of women lined Southampton's docks, each carrying a baby or clutching the hand of a toddler, their arms weighed down with suitcases stuffed with bottles, nappies, and photographs of men waiting somewhere in America. War was over. Now came the real adventure, crossing the Atlantic with hundreds of infants and no idea what lay ahead. The first ship, SS Argentina, set sail in January 1946. On board were 452 war brides, 173 small children, and a cargo hold packed with hope and nerves. British troop ships booed as they left, both bitter and envious. Below deck, the cabins were tight, bunks stacked 3 high, desperate for sleep that would not come. Babies cried, mothers worried. This was no ordinary voyage. It was a test of patience, love, and endurance. You could hear the chaos from every corridor. Ship nurses and Red Cross volunteers moved among the crowded bunks, handing out formula, comforting terrified mothers, changing diapers when seasickness left some too weak to carry on. Laundry rooms steamed with the daily battle against soiled clothes. The seas themselves turned fierce, winter crossing on the North Atlantic's wildest patch. Mothers who'd never left their village now faced waves louder than bombs, rocking the ship so violently that bottles rolled off shelves and cribs slammed into bunks. It wasn't just British brides either. By the end of the war, ships carried French, Belgian, Dutch, Polish, and Italian women, each with the story of a GI romance sealed during the blackout dance or in the chaos of liberation. Most had never seen America. Some barely knew their husbands. Letters and promises kept them going through the sleepless storm. On later ships like RMS Queen Mary and USAT Zebulon B. Vance, crowds of women and children packed the decks. At times, more than 200 infants wailed in unison, and shipboard hygiene became an emergency. Some crossings were later criticized by inquiry reports for poor conditions.
There were moments of pure exhaustion and hilarity. Diaries recall gangs of babies crawling along passageways, diapers hanging to dry from ropes slung between cabins, mothers whispering advice on formula preparation and teething remedies learned at sea. Many ships' crews preferred regular soldiers to these chaotic family crossings. But for the brides, every day at sea brought them closer to their fresh start. Arrival in New York, Halifax, or Boston was its own drama. Reporters and local officials greeted the new Americans in waiting with cheers and photographs, a brass band for the Argentina's passengers in 1946. It was a media spectacle, war brides and their babies, presents from the old world for the victorious new. For some, husbands waited at the dock with flowers and tears. For others, there were missed connections and anxiety. A woman searching a crowd for the man she'd last seen on a troop train months before. Another correcting a customs official who asked if her child was really American. Transitioning to life in small-town America wasn't easy. Mothers faced more isolation, a new language, and, for many, new mothers-in-law who weren't always supportive. If rationing was slightly less severe than in wartime Britain, the stress of a new world was acute. Diaper supplies sometimes ran short, babies fell ill in colder climates, but the hope endured. These women became part of the post-war American story, tough, resourceful, young, determined to build families on new soil. Between 1946 and 1948, nearly 100,000 war brides and 25,000 children crossed the ocean, most of them surviving weeks of seasickness, sleep deprivation, and the world's loudest infant chorus. Their ships, once built for troops and bombs, were transformed into floating nurseries and mothering boot camps, a mass migration like nothing seen before or since. Years later, retired war brides told stories about the diaper run with laughter and amazement, remembering the chaos and misery, but above all, the promise of what lay on the other side. They had braved the ocean, clung to crying children, and arrived changed, not only by war, but by the voyage that turned them into Americans.